Thank you for being here. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Shannon DeWitt, and this is my Facebook group, my little corner of the internet where I love to meet entrepreneurs. I love to support women as they are building and growing their business. And today, this month's mini masterclass, so this is where we dive into a specific topic that is going to grow your business in 30 minutes or less. I do these every month, and this month's topic is how to create a rock solid business. So you may wonder, why is this important? It's important to know because often I see entrepreneurs who are trying to fix the wrong things. And so their success is really put off for longer periods of time because they're fixing the wrong problems. What we want to do is make sure that we are always fixing the right problem. And that's why when we are talking about a rock solid business, we're going to focus on 4 foundational elements. So let's jump into that. I'm going to share my screen with you because I made some pretty slides. Okay, so as I said, we are talking about how to create a rock solid business. So our main mini masterclass is how to create a rock solid business. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Shannon DeWitt. I'm a business coach and a marketing strategist. And I really love helping women build businesses to reach those 6-figure goals or whatever your goals may be by creating the right foundation. So as I said, a lot of times people really start to work on fixing the wrong problems, and I can pretty much identify that one of these 4 elements that we are going to talk about today is missing inside of your business. So we're going to talk about these 4 elements because generally, as I said, when people are coming to me and they're like, Shanna, I've been trying to get my business off the ground and I'm getting a client here, getting a client there, or they want to make a shift and they're trying something new and their business has really slowed down. I always go back to these 4 foundational elements because this is how you get a rock solid business. So a rock solid business is a business that you can always depend on to give you the financial freedom and flexibility that I know that I enjoy, which is why I love doing this for other people. My freedom and flexibility has looked like being able to stay home with my youngest child, which has been really nice and rewarding, even if crazy at many times too. And it allowed us to buy a camper, which I have in this picture here. But my family and I bought a camper and we traveled full time for about 2 years. And we did the tiny home thing. Like, we've really been able to have a lot of experiences that I would not have been able to have if it wasn't for my business. And so I really love doing that for other women. One of the ways that I do this is I use some brain-based techniques with NLP and time and combine that into all the experience that I have and my expertise in marketing and branding and help women get to where they want to go. So that's what we're sharing or talking about today, and how to create a rock solid business with these 4 foundational elements. So if you're a person that feels like, wow, I can't get my business off the ground, or I am in a place where I just can't seem to grow and scale, these are the 4 places that you want to look to see where you need to put your attention, put your focus, because we don't want to spend our time trying to fix the wrong things. So every successful business starts with the right foundation. And these 4 foundational elements of a successful business are going to be: number 1, having clear messaging; number 2, having a business model that scales; number 3, having a simple marketing system; and number 4 is having a magnetic mindset. So the first one is having clear messaging. So I really want to explain what this is, why it's important, and then I'm going to give you some tips on how you can make sure that your messaging is clear, because I guarantee you are going to see results, because clear messaging identifies who you are. It identifies the exact problem that you solve, who you solve this problem for, why what you do is important, and how people can work with you. So many times I have had people that are saying, I'm having a hard time getting clients, or I am getting not great leads. So this would be where people are saying they're really interested and then they drop off, or they get on sales calls and then they don't buy. Or maybe they don't even show up for the calls that they've signed up for, those types of things. And what I do first is I look at their messaging. So honestly, I'll go to usually Instagram and I'll look at like the first 10 posts. And I would say that 95% of the time when I read through these posts, I know exactly what the problem is. It's because people are not clear about what this person does. So that means that they don't know what problems they solve. So they don't know what they could hire them for. Often they don't stress enough the results that they give. They don't stress why what they do is important, and they don't actually ask people to work with them. So people may see that they solve this problem and they're really amazing at it, but then they never even know how to work with you. So these are all very important parts of being able to market your business, being able to consistently get clients. You've got to tell people who you are, what you do, who you do it for, why it matters, and actually ask them to work with you. Now, you may feel like, oh, I do tell people what I do. If you think that this may be your problem, I highly encourage you to go check out the Stand Out and Shine Online Challenge. You can actually get this inside of this Facebook group under guides, because I walk you through the exact steps of getting very, very clear on who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and why it matters. That is the entire challenge, because it is that important. So over 4 days, it walks you through each one of these steps, because I'm telling you, people will think, oh, I'm so clear. I tell people I'm an empowerment coach, and I'm like, no, nobody really knows what that means. So if you think you're clear, you don't know if you're clear, let me ask you this. Is what you do a problem that I could Google? Because if I'm your client, if I'm your ideal client, I'm the person who needs a problem solved, I'm sure I'm going to get on my computer or pick up my phone and I'm going to try to Google it. So if people can't Google the thing that you do, you need to be much more clear about it. Because content with clarity will grab the attention of the people who need your help, show them your expertise, and convert them into paying clients. That sounds good, right? That's what we want. And this kind of messaging, so this clarity, is used inside of your online bios, it's your website, it's your caption, and it's all of your marketing content. So content marketing, what we call content marketing, is any time that you write a piece of content to connect with your ideal client, to share your expertise, and then get them to take some kind of action. So again, this is blog posts, captions, your website content, your bios, any of those things. And it's also the way that you speak to people when you meet people at networking events. So networking events is something that a lot of people don't like the terminology of it, but let me rephrase it for you. This is what you do when you are making friends and building relationships in Facebook groups. Anywhere online that you would meet someone, and of course in person if you go to Tuesdays Together, which is one of my favorite events to go to, even though it's virtual now, right? So things will open back up. You're going to meet people. Anytime someone says, what is it that you do, you want to make sure that you're telling them who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and why it matters in a very clear and concise way. So these are some tips for getting more clarity inside of your messaging. The first one is, ask yourself, do you tell people the exact problem you solve? So you want to make sure that you're using very clear language to the point that you could Google it. So not empowerment coach, not, trying to think of some more, not a coach for truth-based or heart-centered entrepreneurs. Like, I don't really know who that is. I don't know what you mean by heart-centered. So the only thing I'm getting out of that is that it's an entrepreneur and I'm an entrepreneur. So you want to be really clear. The second one is to use the 5 whys method. And this is really fun because basically you keep questioning yourself until you get a very specific answer. So you can do this exercise at home where you think about yourself like writing a sales page and you're trying to tell people that they should sign up for this webinar that you're going to get. Ask yourself, why does this webinar matter? And then you come up with an answer, oh, because I'm going to teach people how to make a nutritious meal. Okay, but why does that matter? Because people need to eat better. But why does that matter? Because they want to have more energy. Well, why does having more energy matter? It matters because if I have more energy, then I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to be able to play with my kids. I'm going to be able to do things that I enjoy instead of coming home and laying on the couch watching Netflix all night. So using the 5 whys matter really helps you drill down to what is the result? What is the thing? Why is this the thing that people need? Why is this the thing that people need to do, to buy? Why do they need to work with you? It's why is it really important? Because you want to get to the heart of what your potential client is looking for. If I tell you that I have this, offer that is going to help you lose weight. Well, there's a lot of offers that help people lose weight. Why is this one important? Why does this one matter? Is it because it happens in a certain amount of time? Is it because it happens without dieting? Is it because it happens in, exercises that you can do 20 minutes a day and you're a busy mom, so like that really matters to you? Specificity is your friend, so get really clear. And number 3 is, do you tell people how they can work with you? You have got to regularly let people know exactly how they can work with you. This is what I call a sales post, where it's specifically about the thing that you offer. But this also includes making sure that you just invite people, like, hey, if you want to know more about this, send me a DM. If you'd like to get a free consultation, this is how you do that. You've got to constantly be telling people how to work with you. The second foundational element is creating a business model that scales. So your business model is really just how you've decided that you're going to make money. It can look very different for people depending on what they do. You may have one signature offer, you may have 3 offers, you may have a combination of a one-on-one and group coaching, you may have some digital products and a big, main offer that you've got, and like maybe a smaller offer. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to tell you what does matter, and that is that it is scalable. Now, you may think of scalability as really just about money, like, can I do this thing more and then just make more money? But I think that it's about more than that. I think a successful business model that scales is going to include services that you're 100% sold on. Here's why this is important. If you have services that you are like, hands down, this is awesome, you're going to get such great results, that affects everything that you do, because it's easy to brag about services that get great results. It's easy to show up and tell people like, oh, you're crazy if you don't take me up on this offer, when your offers are that great, right? And so that highly affects your marketing, but it also affects you energetically, because if you don't love the work you do, if you're like, well, I feel like this offer is really underpriced, but I don't know if people will pay more, you are not going to want to sell that offer, and you're definitely not going to have the energy to want to take on more work when you're doing things that you don't really want to do. If you have an offer that is just completely energetically draining, then if you don't go back and finesse that offer and make it something you're excited about, same thing. Energetically, you're not going to have energy to do more work, and you're not going to put it out there and really sell it. It's going to be one of those like, oh my God, I hope this person doesn't really decide they want to do this, right? And so you're not going to make more money. So make sure that you are 100% sold on the offers that you have. The second part is services that make it easy for clients to work with you again and again. So scalable offers are ones that are easy for people to say yes to. So here's a little tip about that. You don't have to have multiple offers, but you want to make sure that the offers that you have make it easy for people to work with you again and again, and this can be in different ways. Let's say that you have one signature offer, and that's that you make websites. And that's a really, one and done kind of thing, right? But those clients are going to need to make updates to their site, and once they've had that site for a few years, they're going to want to refresh it. So you want to make sure that you're capturing that repeat business again, because people that buy from you once are 50% more likely to buy from you again. So having them where you would regularly say, do you want to buy some maintenance hours? You can just pay a flat fee, something like that. Being able to reach out to them again and say, hey, I was thinking it's probably time for a refresh. This is what that would look like and how much it would cost, and details. Those kind of things are going to give you a ton of stability in your business, which is scaling. So scaling is not always about having to get more clients and do new things. It's often, if you're talking about finances, it's about creating stability by working with people again and again. Another way that you can do this, and what that could look like, is by having an introductory offer that gives people a very specific result for a very affordable price. That makes it a no-brainer, and it also puts you into being able to take advantage of, if someone buys from you once, they're 50% more likely to buy from you again. So if they get that easy offer, because it's very specific of what they're going to get, the result that they're getting, and it is affordably priced, then they're going to be more willing to work with you again. So when you think about how you solve your clients' problems, what is one small problem that you can solve? And then what is a portion of that problem, an extension of that problem that you could solve that would be more of an investment in time and money. So you want to move people through the different areas. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Those are scalable offers. And the third thing to keep in mind is that you want to make sure that your services actually work with your capacity. So your capacity for time and your energetic capacity. I know that I've had an offer before, or a few offers, where in my coaching business or in my design business, where it just felt like such a heavy lift to get the project done. And I finally just faced the facts that, like, I don't have to do it this way. I can do things differently. And for me, that was really changing up the offer where it was simplified. So it was less time on me. It was adding in some touch points in the process so that it was an easier process and it flowed better. So be really observant about what you're doing and what your offers are. Are you giving people a good result? Is every part of that service necessary? How can you make it easier? Because if it feels easier for you, it's also going to feel easier for your client, and they're going to appreciate that. So there's no reason to feel like you need to over deliver. You just want to give them that main result that they want, which goes back to being clear. What is your client's problem? What problem do you solve? And now we've got some tips for creating that kind of scalability within your business model. So one is just really, like I said, being a great observer, assessing how successful your offers are. Do they get great results? Can you simplify this, because it's going to be better for you and your client? Number two is update your offers to make it easy for clients to say yes to working with you. So think about how you could add more ease into this so that you can take advantage of that 50% rule, right? So if someone buys from me once, 50% to easier to work with you later. Or how can you continue to work with clients after you've already served them so that you are building your business financially without having to put in the effort into your marketing to get new clients. So we always want to be getting new clients, but this is going to give you a lot of stability. So number three is, again, updating your offers to make it easy for people to continue to work with you. So just the things that we said were included inside of scalable offers. You want to make sure that those offers work with your time and your capacity. You want to make sure that you're 100% sold on those offers. And you want to make sure that they set you up for success by letting clients work for you again and again. So if you want to have a more scalable offer, first go through and assess, what's working, what's not working, how can you simplify this. Two, have an offer that makes it an easy yes to work with you again. And this doesn't necessarily mean a paid offer. This could be something free, but it's something that someone can get to make that first investment with you and get an easy win so that they will continue to work with you. So number three is updating your services where you can continue to work with clients, either after they've worked with you once or, just making it easier for them to start working with you. And step three is creating a simple marketing system. So I want to explain this one a little bit, because you're probably like, what is a marketing system? Well, a simple marketing system is a proven strategy that continuously or consistently gets you clients. So most of you probably know what a marketing strategy is. That's just where you make a plan and you say, okay, I'm going to get clients by showing up on Instagram, and I'm going to do 5 posts a week and 5 stories. That's a strategy. I can give you a strategy. You can buy a strategy from someone else. You can buy something that's worked for someone else. But if you don't put action behind it, you never know if it works or not. And once you have a strategy that you've put action behind so often that you know that it works, then you have a marketing system. And let me tell you, friends, we all want a marketing system, right? We want to consistently get clients. So we want to constantly be working through the 3 levels of marketing, which is getting contact with people. So that's making your first initial contact with people that you don't know. That's nurturing those leads. So generating leads, nurturing leads. And the nurturing part is how you develop relationships with people. And that is why they will do the last step, which is conversion. So a really great marketing system will play to your strengths and how you like to build relationships, because that's what marketing is. It's all about building relationships. And when you figure out how to do that in a way that you enjoy, then it gets easy. And, people don't want to do things that are hard and uncomfortable, right? I don't. You don't. I'm thinking about swimsuit season and I'm like, oh my God, no, right? But when we can make that easy, then we're going to show up, we're going to do it more. And when we are consistently showing up for our business, it's going to show up for us. We're going to get more clients, we're going to make more money, all the good things. So The second part is that it's got to be actions that you can do consistently. And this goes back to, again, playing to your strengths and how you like to do, how to build relationships. So when you're deciding what actions you're going to take, make sure it's something that you're going to show up and do consistently, because consistency is where you're actually going to get the results. And number three, marketing strategy will get you clients on repeat. So a great marketing system is going to play to your strengths and how you like to build relationships. It's going to be composed of actions that you do consistently, so things that you will do consistently. And you're going to know that you've got a marketing system when it gets you clients on repeat. So that means never having to wonder, how am I going to get my next client? That means not feeling like you have to hustle and stress about where you're going to get your next client from. So these are some tips on how you can create a marketing system for yourself. You want to focus on mastering one or two platforms and relationship building rather than showing up in all the places. So I know that logically it makes sense that if you want to get more leads, then you should cast a bigger net, but it just never works out that way because it's about relationship building. And when you try to cast a big net like that, you may do a great job at showing up on all the platforms, but it's impossible to cultivate relationships on all the platforms because who has that much time? So the second thing is create one really great piece of content that could be shared in multiple ways rather than sharing lots of content. This is a huge time saver and a way to make sure that you are really focusing in on your messaging and making sure that you have clear messaging that shows your expertise, that connects with people that have the problem that you solve, and that you are asking people to work with you. I know that for me and lots of other entrepreneurs, we kind of get in these modes where it's like creation. You want to create the thing, create the thing, create the thing. Creating content is great, but you will get really burned out. If you're spending all of your time creating content, then you're not spending your time cultivating relationships, and that's the thing that's actually going to make you money. And so a really great strategy is just to create one really great piece of content and use it in multiple places. So let's just say that this masterclass is my one big chunk of content. What I can do is I can do this video here in this group. I can put this video on YouTube. I can create a blog post around it with the video linked in on my website. And then I can create, probably 5 social media posts that talk about the different parts of this video. So then I've got a full month of very focused content on who I am, what I do, who I work with, kind of problems that I solve out of this one thing. So that is a better strategy than creating all the things, because that's the biggest part. You probably see a theme here. It's about focus. So it's hard. I know it's hard. You feel like I need to be doing all the things. If I'm not doing stuff, then, if I'm not moving towards my goal, then I'm not doing anything. But we want to have focused action because that's what's going to get us more results. And the third one is approach your strategy with curiosity so that you can perfect how you attract, nurture, and convert clients until you get consistent results. This one is probably the hardest one for people because, again, we don't like to do things that don't feel good. We want to feel like we are seeing results right away. And it's often hard to first make a decision on what your strategy is, and then 2, put action behind that decision until you see results. But it really is that simple and that necessary, because when you're building a marketing system, it's not about trying all the different things. It's about deciding how you want to show up and build relationships and sticking with it. So working it until it works, because any marketing strategy will work if you show up consistently. So it's deciding what you're going to do and sticking with it through the 3 parts of what I feel like is marketing or sales or whatever you want to call it, which is attracting potential clients, nurturing those relationships, and then converting those clients. So you have to stick with it for at least 90 days. That's a really good rule of thumb. Stick with it for 90 days and make sure, instead of feeling like, oh my God, this isn't working, I need to do something else, and dumping on yourself, that you say, how can I do this even better? Like, maybe I'm making this too hard is always my go-to question, because that's usually what it is. But how can I approach this with curiosity and simplify this? So how can I go deeper? You want to ask yourself good questions like, am I doing really great on the attracting part? So maybe you're showing up on Instagram, you are having, an increase in engagement, that kind of thing. And then maybe it's the nurturing part. So maybe you need to create more touch points. Maybe you need to follow up more. Maybe you need to find better ways to get people into DMs with you or get people on calls with you. Like, you want to really look and see which part of this you have a strength in and which part there is room for improvement until you get consistent results. Because I'm telling you, that's key, is that consistency helps so much. Now, step 4 is a magnetic mindset, and this is really important because mindset is often the thing that really screws you in that last step, because it is so hard to continue to show up and do things that maybe don't feel good. We're not getting any positive reinforcement yet. We're not getting results that are confirming the actions that we are taking. And that is the breeding ground for all of the mindset issues that come up: fear, self-doubt, negative self-talk, all these kind of things. Those are the little bombshells that will keep you from consistently taking action in your business, therefore keeping you from ever getting the results that you want and missing out on sustainability. So mindset is very, very important. And the reason why, as I mentioned in the beginning, that I have a certification in success coaching and NLP, time techniques and hypnosis and emotional freedom technique and Reiki. It's like, because mindset is so important, and I see what a huge difference it makes in my clients. I know what a difference it's made for me, how much I have had to grow and learn, and didn't know that this was going to be something to expect 7 years ago when I decided to start my own business. But it's so important, and I just can't tell you enough how much I see clients take quantum leaps, and the only thing that is different is their mindset. So I'm sure you've heard the term of like, get out of your own way or whatever. That's what this actually means. It means that you're going to stop self-sabotaging. You're going to stop letting your fears and self-doubt and past experiences take charge of your success, and you are going to instead take control. You're going to be in control. And so mindset is a very important thing. And a magnetic mindset means that it gives you the confidence and the self-trust that you need to take action and grow your business. So a magnetic mindset will keep you from self-sabotaging your success, remove the fears and self-doubt that keep you from showing up and marketing your business. I'm sure that you've all felt this when you try to do something new, like going live on Instagram or Facebook, or trying your first reel, or making a TikTok video. Maybe even doing some speaking, like being on a podcast or something like that, right? Those are the fears. And the last one is, it helps you attract clients, because the universe never meets desperate, grabby energy. Unfortunately, this is true, because I think we've all been there at some point or another, where we're just like, oh my gosh, like you need something to change so bad, or you feel really like desperate and grabby because you need to get clients, and you may notice that the universe never steps up to that. But a really good way to explain this is that it's funny how if you're in a place where you want to be in a relationship and you're like actively looking for someone, you are not going to find anybody. But the minute you're like, forget it, I've got other stuff to do, I don't care about being in a relationship, they come out of the woodwork, right? I know that you guys have experienced this. Maybe it's happened to your friend or it's happened to you. That is the perfect example of an energy shift. The perfect example of an energy shift. When you are feeling confident and a relationship would be great, but it's not that big of a deal, you are attracting people right and left. When you are feeling like, I'm the loneliest person in the world and I don't want to stay home another Friday night by myself, then you're going to have a really hard time attracting someone to that energy, because the universe just doesn't like that. It doesn't meet the desperate grabby. It likes positive, right? So here are some tips for creating a magnetic mindset. These are some things that I teach my clients. There's things that I do on a regular basis. So if you give it a shot, I 100% guarantee you that they will work. So the first thing is, you can't work through your fears and beliefs if you're not looking them in the face. So identifying these fears and beliefs that are holding you back, and then digging a little bit deeper into the root of these fears and beliefs to find a new perspective, is the most important thing you can do. One thing that I do to kind of talk people through this is like when something happens and you feel like, let's just say it's about going live on Facebook, or maybe it's about a sales call or following up with someone. That seems to be a hard one too. When you think about doing that, what is that initial thing that pops in your head? You know, and where do you feel like, what do you feel and what pops into your head? It doesn't matter if it's silly, it really doesn't matter. Just write it down. And then you want to explore that because you want to just take those fears, picture a table, put it all on the table, look at it, I see you, and then figure out what is that fear or belief trying to protect you from, because that's your thing under the thing, right? So we can say that we have a fear of water, but that fear is because we have a fear of dying and we want to feel safe, right? It's not like we're really afraid of water. We're not like, oh my gosh, water is the worst thing that's ever happened in the world. It's not about the water. It's the fear underneath that, right? So you're not really afraid of Instagram. You don't think that people are going to come after you with pitchforks if you do an Instagram live, right? But there's something underneath that. And those are the things that you want to address so that you can create a new perspective, because once you see that, once you have that bigger understanding, you can be like, oh, this is just me trying to protect myself because I'm afraid of failure. But I know in my head that if I don't get out there and market my business, I'm 100% going to fail. So let's just do this. And that's why I love number 2, which is journaling out your fears, because that's how you can get to the place where you can recognize it and be like, oh, okay, I get it, but I'm okay, I'm a big girl, I can do this. So journal out your fears, write them down, no matter how silly they are, do it every day until you're like, these are silly, and you just feel over it. So not feeling charged means instead of really feeling like you feel it in your body, like, oh, this kind of makes me sick when I think about having to do this. It's like, well, I don't like it, but I'm going to do it anyway. So you really want to just move yourself from feeling so attached to the fear that it's making you come up with excuses like, well, my hair doesn't look good enough today, I can't do an Instagram live, or my voice is really annoying, I can't do a podcast. Whatever that is, where you're like, well, I recognize that these feelings come up, but I'm going to do it anyway. So number 3 is really helpful when you get to this place, and that is find evidence of your new and empowered belief so that you can reframe the fear. This means that you understand enough about your fears and beliefs, you see them when they happen, and then you can reframe this for yourself, because our brains are always looking for evidence of the thing that we believe is true. So as long as you're believing these fears, you're putting some stock into them, they're just going to run all over you. But if you can change that and believe something more powerful. Now, I know a lot of times this can go in a really opposite direction where it's like, I believe I'm a millionaire. I believe I look like a supermodel or something like that. And yeah, that seems really hard, because it is. It's really hard to convince yourself of something that seems so far past what you actually believe. So you really want to take this in steps. So you may believe that that you're not an expert at what you do. So you could reframe this and say, I may not be the utmost expert in my field, but I know now that I have a lot to say on this matter and that people care about my opinions. So that would be a way that you would take a step from one thing to the other, because you can accept the fact that you are not the top most celebrated expert in your field, but that you also know a heck of a lot and people want to hear what you have to say. Okay? So another way that you could do this is, I used to believe that I didn't deserve to make money, but now I know that I deserve to make money and be happy. Or that's, I guess, a little bit more of a stretch, but you think that you get my point. You just want to find something that kind of helps you meet yourself halfway so that it's much easier to take that belief. I used to believe that I would never make 6 figures, but now I know that my business is growing every single day. So I used to believe that getting clients was hard, but now I know that when I show up consistently in my business, getting clients can be easy. So these are all ways that you can kind of make those very subtle shifts, which are really, really important. So if you feel like you are ready to work on those 4 fundamentals and you've recognized that working on one of these, whether it's your mindset or your business model, services that you offer would really help you because you're ready to have that rock solid business and that freedom and flexibility, and just knowing that you've got clients that are coming to you, I would really love to help. So I'm going to share with you that there are 3 different ways that you can work with me. One is that you can sign up for a simple strategy call. It's a 30-minute call where we just look at your marketing and figure out what actions that you need to take now to get more results. If you need a little more help than that, there's the 2-hour marketing intensive. Again, we just talk all about your marketing and what actions you can take. Because I can't solve all of your marketing issues in 30 minutes, but I can definitely give you more direction in 2 hours. And then I'd love to take this opportunity to remind you that you can always sign up for one-on-one coaching support. I have clients that I work with one-on-one, and we meet 3 times a week. There's a lot of other stuff included in that, but that's the gist of it. And I'm super excited to announce that on May 24th, so Monday through Friday, I will be opening up my Fearless Fundamentals coaching program. I'm really excited about this program because this really helps you make sure that you've got that foundation for growth. Because again, so many times people feel like, well, I want to get 6 figures, or I want to do this or that, but they're focusing on the wrong problems. They're focusing on, how can I just master Instagram, or how can, things that are going to help, but they never really get the result that they want because their foundation is broken. I'd hate for you to spend all of your time on Instagram only to find out that people don't know what you do, right? That's kind of heartbreaking. So I don't want that for you. And Fearless Fundamentals is a 6-month coaching program where you get the experience of one-on-one coaching, but for an unbelievable price. So we have group coaching calls every other week. The groups will be just you and 2 other people. And you also get 3 one-on-one calls, one of those being a mindset call. So we use the NLP techniques, time techniques to break through some of those limiting beliefs. I love these science-based, brain-based techniques because they get you fast action. I'm talking like quantum leap action, because when you can move those fears and self-doubt out of the way, like nothing is holding you back. So inside the program, you get all these fundamentals that you need: building a marketing system, getting clear about your content, building a business model that scales, and then we top all of that off with these mindset techniques to make sure that you're getting all of that out of the way. So again, nothing is standing in your way to growing your business. Like, there's no reason why you can't have the business that you want. So I am going to include a link to that below, because again, that opens on opens on May the 24th, and that's a Monday, and it closes on Friday. So you have some time to think about it, but I hope that if you are in a place where you feel like you launched your business but it hasn't really taken off, or if you're in a place where you may be moving from corporate or something like that, and you're ready to take your experience and expertise and package it into services that sell, I would love to work with you and help you do just that. So I hope that this mini masterclass was helpful to you, and that it doesn't look as insane as it does in my preview. So I guess we'll find out, right? But thank you so much for being here in this group, and I would love for you to comment below, like, is any of this resonating with you? Let me know if you feel like you need to work on step 1, 2, 3, or 4. So step 1 is clarity. Step 2 is making sure that you have services that are going to scale your business. Step 3 was a marketing system, and step 4 is mindset. So let me know 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which one of these do you feel like applies to you the most?